It's Marco of PhoneDog.com, and this is the Microsoft Xbox One. Microsoft's next-generation console clearly targeted to invade every single home of every single family in the world. Unlike the PlayStation 4, this was not only intended to be a new gaming console, this was intended for being the one device to replace a lot of other devices. From looks alone, it doesn't look like a device capable of doing that. It's a rectangular square that's glossy on one half and matte and vented on the other half. You have a new white Xbox logo on the right side, an eject button, a button to sync your controllers, and one USB 3.0 port, and that's it. On the back, you have a little more action. You have a port for your power brick, HDMI out, a digital out, an HDMI in, an extra 2 USB 3.0 ports, a spot for your connector plug-in, an IR out, and an Ethernet port. It runs an 8-core AMD Jaguar CPU alongside an AMD graphics card, 8GB of DDR3 RAM, and a 500GB non-removable hard drive. Launching the Xbox One is fast and responsive, but even better when you use the Xbox Kinect. Kinect, if you don't know, is a device that picks up human movements and voices to complete tasks, play games, and go through menus. This new Kinect is even better. It looks identical to the Xbox One's design, very square and almost unnoticeable. It's way more accurate than the old Kinect, plus they got rid of the motor and added a new super wide-angle camera lens and new sensors to eliminate the lag. It's probably more cost-effective for them and benefits more customers with limited space in their living rooms. With your Xbox One on Instant On mode, you can say Xbox On and the One will fire right up, and if your TV is connected through it, it will power your TV and cable box. When your Xbox One does turn on, you will be greeted by something very familiar if you are a Windows 8 user. Why? Because the Xbox One runs Windows 8. You see things you've pinned on the left side, recent applications and games in the middle, and if you swing over to the right, you see things like your media playback features, Microsoft Stores, and more. It's a simple navigation, and yes, you can use your Kinect with it. Just hold your hand out, grab, and swing. Using Kinect to go to applications, games, watch TV, and even adjusting your TV volume is fairly easy. There are limitations though. Voice search on Bing is a little hit and miss, and the web browser's Browse To feature is almost useless for websites that are not made out of real words. CNN would work, but say a site like PhoneDog, and sometimes it would take you to a completely different website than what you wanted. Using your hand has also changed tremendously from the previous Kinect. Instead of holding your hand over something for a couple seconds, you can now tap it with your hand to select an item. It's much faster and responsive than last year's Kinect. Now, Microsoft has been showing off Xbox One's TV feature like crazy. Simply say Xbox Watch TV and the Xbox will swing into TV mode. Once you connect your TV and cable box through the Xbox One's HDMI in port, you are in action. Most modern TVs will be picked up automatically and will work right out of the box, but you do have a setting to enter model information manually if that was unsuccessful. So on the TV application, you see your TV and channels, but you can also say Xbox Watch and say your channel name. It's very fast and accurate. But it does have a few issues. The One does not take over your hardware. It simply becomes a giant voice-activated remote. Switching channels would go through your cable box and bring up annoying and very clunky menus from the cable box. Plus, the Xbox throws their own menu on top of whatever cable box you have, so basically it becomes a ginormous mess. It works, but it doesn't look good enough, and sadly, that's something Microsoft has little control over. Also, if you have a DVR function on your cable box, then you'll still have to use the cable box remote. There is no record command on the Xbox One. Now let's take a step towards the roots of the Xbox and its gaming platform. This is a powerful machine and performance is great, but we won't see the best until developers have had a chance to make the best of all the power on the Xbox One. Games like Battlefield 4 look better than last generation, but only slightly. So the performance of the Xbox One is good, games look great, and their frame rates have never been this good on Xbox. Games like Forza Motorsport 5 look even better. This game has had a little more time to work with the Xbox One on their games, so the graphics look almost unreal. Color rendering is absolutely beautiful and great, and frame rates appear to be seamless. Now the games are great to look, but the controller is where your hands will pay most of attention to. So the new Xbox One controller is very similar to the Xbox 360 controller. It's almost the same size, but only a little bit smaller than last generation. The D-pad has been cut down on height and size, and the joysticks have been sharpened, shrunken down, and now have a more textured grip on them. The triggers and bumpers have a more satisfying click, but now almost seem too firm, especially for those who have smaller sized hands. Obviously, you can say there's been a lot of work put into the controller, and it really pays off. I find it more comfortable still than the DualShock 4. The Xbox 360 controller was praised for being an ultimate controller, but now it will have to move over for the new Xbox One controller. A new and improved rumble feature is now taking center stage for the new controller. Instead of just shaking the whole controller, it can now pinpoint sections and triggers of the controller and just rumble that section. For example, when you're clipping a right-hand apex on Forza, your controller will buzz just that right trigger where your accelerator pedal would be. It's pretty cool stuff, and I can't wait to see more applications of it. Xbox One is trying to be the one device for the household living room. Does it do that now? No. There's tons of problems, and Microsoft needs to work them out. But this is a better start than usual. It already does so many things well and will only improve on as we go on. This generation will last over half a decade, and that's a long time for technology. We will see new software and hardware that will make the Xbox One even better in our living rooms, and if the price tag is the only thing scaring you from buying one, then let me be the first to say that the price tag is a small thing to pay for the limitless applications that it's capable of.